If I was a question, would you be my answer? If I was the music, would you be the dancer? If I was the student, would you be the teacher? If I was the sinner, would you be the preacher? Would you be my done, the done, done? I still got a lot of shit to learn, I'll admit it. The done, done. I still got a lot of shit to learn, I'll admit it.
Kyoto Animation is famous for its technically consistent animation and heartfelt slice-of-life stories. Whether you were drawn in by the fanatical craze for Haruhi Suzumiya, thirsting over the Boys of Free, or finding fulfillment in last year's climactic season of Hibiki Euphonium, you've probably seen at least one of the anime they've made. But have you ever heard of a little-known show called Tsurune? Judging by Mao's numbers, probably not. But this show, about a high school boys club centered around Kyudo or archery, caught my eye after its second season won the 2023 r/Anime Awards Best Cinematography Jury Award. And while I had my doubts about watching a boys sports show from KyoAni, considering what their other boys sports show is known for, I was swiftly proven wrong. This show was cooking. Interesting camera movements, Sakuga highlights, deeply satisfying sound design, all tied together by Kyoto Animation's technical brilliance and intimate character acting. But the standout scene for me was this tense 3.5-minute scene in a bathroom. Let me explain from the start. Tsurune follows the Kazumai High School Archery Club as they aim to win the prefectural tournament. In the second season, we are introduced to their rivals from Tsujimine High School, whose leader, Nikaido, holds a grudge against our main characters Minato and Seiya. They're never quite sure what Nikaido's motivations are, leading Seiya to grow increasingly frustrated over how rudely Nikaido treats a friendly Minato. Nikaido is a toxic asshole when Minato tries to reconnect with him. Nikaido is a snarky rebel when Minato and Seiya's coach, Masa, tries to reach out. And Seiya, frankly, is tired of Nikaido's shit. This all culminates in a face-off in the restroom, where Nikaido prods at Seiya's overzealous attachment to Minato. In response, Seiya criticizes Nikaido's philosophy towards Kyudo and his unwarranted aggression. The argument is eventually broken up by Nikaido's teammate, Fuwa, and the two walk away without settling their differences. So that's the basics of the argument, but how does a bathroom help in any way? Well, it's all about the blocking. How the characters, props, and cameras are arranged in a space to convey meaning beyond the dialogue. Right away, we see Nikaido stop Seiya from stepping into the bathroom. The next shot creates frames within the frame by placing Seiya in the hallway and Nikaido in the bathroom, which quickly establishes conflict and separation. The decor and styling of these two rooms pushes the narrative of the conversation. By episode 11, we have a sense of who is in the right. Seiya has mostly come to terms with this toxic attachment to Minato, while Nikaido's secret, once it comes to light, showcases how immature and stubborn his behavior has been. But even without this knowledge, the backgrounds and camera hint at the truth. The colors in these two spaces reflect the attitudes of these characters. Seiya is backed by these warm oranges that give a more natural and inviting color, compared to the white light of the bathroom, which comes across as more cold and sterile. The wooden slat walls behind Seiya and the tiled floors beneath Nikaido further reinforce this dichotomy. When the talk turns to Kyudo philosophies, Nikaido makes clear his intention of using Kyudo as revenge against those who slighted his teacher. Archery is a tool of war. But Seiya counters that archery has since evolved and the Kazumai Kyudo Club is happy with treating it as a source of fun. He, along with the rest of the club, has been on a journey to foster the club's unity and harmony. This sentiment is visually expressed through the warmth of the traditional hallway behind him. Nikaido's forced retribution through a rebellious style of Kyudo comes across as harsher and more artificial, much like this very modern bathroom. The design of the space appropriately captures the characters' ideologies and emphasizes how their attitudes differ by representing them as natural versus unnatural, and it certainly favors one interpretation over the other. The camera angle selection also communicates meaning and pushes a particular perspective. Nikaido makes cheap jabs at Seiya, using his attachment to Minato to bring him down. But Seiya simply responds, "I don't know anything about you," rising above these weak provocations. Seiya's counter is backed by this slow panning shot from behind him, where he and Nikaido are clearly placed on differing layers. Seiya moves faster than Nikaido and is positioned closer to the camera, giving the impression of someone turning inward and looking at something. Meanwhile, the shot from behind Nikaido is stationary and cluttered by all these stalls and walls. Several close-ups feature the bathroom wall in between Nikaido and the camera. In some shots, you can't even see him. This layering diminishes Nikaido's power in the argument. He comes across as closed-minded and trapped, especially when compared to the more open space around Seiya. The bathroom is a physical manifestation of the walls Nikaido is putting up, walls that are ultimately isolating him. I also want to add that Fuwa, who is eavesdropping, is also wonderfully positioned. As Nikaido rebuffs Seiya's philosophy that Kyudo fosters camaraderie, he declares Kyudo is a sport about enacting violence on others. At that moment, we get this shot of Seiya and Fuwa divided by another slat wall separating the hallway from the cafeteria. Even though Fuwa is Nikaido's classmate, he is framed within the same warm orange lighting as Seiya. It's clear which side he is on, which becomes evident right after the conversation where he mentions that winning is also not his priority. What a simple yet crafty way of expressing a character's motivation. The bathroom also allows the director to take advantage of mirrors. Mirrors are a classic cinematic tool used for a variety of purposes. For one, mirrors emphasize Nikaido's entrapment, confining him within the already limited space. They also can be used to suggest a dishonest character. They say one thing but are hiding what they truly feel, intentional or not. Shots of Nikaido reflected in the mirror are often used when he is playing dumb or trying to elicit a reaction out of Seiya. The mirror reveals that these are overly defensive retorts to Seiya that hide Nikaido's real reasons for why he's upset. But Seiya sees past this facade, talking directly to the Nikaido in the mirror. Once again, the show makes it clear that Seiya has a better understanding of the argument. Beyond the cinematography, it's a fantastic showcase of how much Seiya has grown over these 2 seasons. This entire scene is punctuated by such a witty final cut, where Ryohei, another Kazumai teammate, walks in on Seiya washing his hands in the bathroom. When he asks, "Oh, you were in here?" Seiya responds with a cheeky, "I was." We didn't touch on this too much, but Seiya's story has been driven by jealousy over Minato's newfound relationships and the fear of losing his position as Minato's #1 supporter. In Season 1, Seiya was the toxic asshole making snide remarks towards their childhood friend trying to reconnect with Minato. Seiya was the snarky rebel telling Masa that he hates him because it was Masa who brought Minato back to Kyudo, not Seiya. His possessiveness led him to pursue Kyudo for less than noble reasons. He was trapped, clinging to a sport he didn't truly love because he was afraid of being left behind by Minato. And it all culminates in him lashing out and trying to quit Kyudo once he decided he was no longer needed. In the end, Seiya was saved not by Minato fighting against this wish, but by Minato exercising patience and understanding. "I'll be waiting." With that, Seiya managed to break out of this self-destructive mindset and to build a healthier and more open relationship with his teammates, his coach, and Minato. So for Seiya, who has undergone a similar journey as Nikaido, to recognize himself in this conflict and for the director to make such a subtle nod to this parallel by placing Seiya in the bathroom that was trapping Nikaido is just a perfect way to tie everything together. Just insane. And this scene is only a small sample of the great cinematography in Tsurune. From detailed uses of lighting to purposeful paintings that give you hints about a character's eternal struggles, there's so much to chew on that it makes the journey through an okay Season 1 very worthwhile. It's a show that rewards you again and again with thoughtful combinations of blocking and writing that suggest so many potential meanings and interpretations that you can't help overanalyze every single element in the frame. And somehow, it all peaks with this deceivingly simple encounter in a cafeteria bathroom.